Hello everyone, welcome back to the Kubernetes Penetration Testing series. In today's video, part 5, we are going to wrap up the attack chain by targeting the heart of Kubernetes, control panel etcd. If you had been following our series, we already compromised a container, escalated to the master node, and dropped a backdoor pod. Now it's time to take the final step. Extracting secrets, impersonate cluster components, and gain full control by abusing etcd. But before to continue, if you find our videos tutorial helpful, please like them, share with your friends, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so. Your support plays a significant role in helping us grow and keep us motivated to provide you with more practical, real-world content on penetration testing and red teaming each week. We are building a technical community of hackers who enjoy exploring edge cases, and we're inviting you to join us. Let's get into it. We are picking it up where we left off in part 4, where we compromise the master node through a role-based access control misconfiguration. Now that we are sitting on the master node with root access, we will pivot towards one of the highest value targets in the Kubernetes control panel, etcd. But what is etcd? Before we dive into commands, let's talk about what etcd actually is. It's a distributed key value store that Kubernetes uses to store everything, literally everything. That includes secrets, pods, service definition, RBAC roles, and binding, config maps, nodes, states, and more. If we have access to the etcd, we essentially control the whole cluster. Lab setup and recap. We are building on the previous steps. We already have a shell on the master node, a privilege flow deployed, API access confirmed. From here, our goal is to interact directly with the etcd using etcd-ctl. So we managed to deploy from the attacker machine a malicious pod inside of the master node in here. This tutorial is going to be based on the fact that we are going to execute it in here from the master node inside our malicious pod. From here, an attacker can impersonate any system component, extract credentials for external devices, modify cluster state or network policies, delete everything. That is why it's very dangerous of leaving etcd exposed or unencrypted. Let's start. One of the first steps that we are going to do is to make sure that we have the necessary tools, and we don't have it, we will install it. We are going to install kubectl, and also we are going to install etcd CLI. Wonderful. We have our tools. So the next step is to start with the reconnaissance portion. Basically, we are going to use kubectl to list all the secrets that lives inside the etcd. And as you can see, we have 3 of them: admin password, code vault, and Kubernetes Pentest part 5 password. So the one that we are interested in is the Kubernetes Pentest part 5 password. So just remember that we are right now inside of the malicious pod that we created previously, and we are executing all these commands. The next command that we are going to execute is kubectl get pod. We can execute it like that just to get the name of the pods, or we can execute it with dash all namespace to get more information. And let's search for the pod that we are interested on, and which is this one, Kubernetes Pentest Part 5. So since we locate the pod and we identify that they're running and everything looks perfectly fine, we are going to gain access to the pod by executing the following command. Now that we are inside of the pod, the first step is to see where we are living. In this case, we are living inside of APP. Let's move to the root file. And as you can see, we can see there is another folder called etcd. Let's go inside. And we can see that we have in here all the credential material needed to interact, communicate with the etcd service. So we are going to copy them to our inside of our app folder. Wonderful. And as you can see, we have all the credential material needed to interact moving forward. We are going to authenticate and query the etcd by executing using the next command. Oh, this is expected. We don't have the etcd ctl tool. We can just download it like we did previously. Wonderful. Let's go back. Wonderful. As you can see, right now we are interacting with the etcd service. Literally, we query all the content. Is very big, so we are going to just search for what we are interested on. In this case, we are going to use the next command, and we are going to grep for the one that we are interested in. This case is Kubernetes Pentest Part 5 password. Let's see if it's inside of the etcd service. And as you can see, we identify it, registry secrets default, and this is Kubernetes Pentest Part 5 password. Wonderful. One thing that I want to mention in here is that the password stored inside of the etcd service is not saved in plain text, but it's not encrypted either. The etcd service stored using a base64, so that easily we can retrieve it in plain text by using the next command. And as you can see, we retrieve the password in plain text, which is password 123. The next step, if we want, is we can also get a snapshot of the entire cluster. We can do that using the next command. And as you can see, we managed to get a snapshot of the database or the etcd. Finally, since we already know what we're looking for, we can just use a string. And as you can see, we identify the password string, and we use grep also to search for a specific string. Finally, I want to mention that if we have reached the master node and role-based access control is broken, etcd is our final step toward total control. This is what makes Kubernetes pentesting so dangerous when control panel misconfiguration are present, right? Um, Thanks for watching. If you learned something today, like this video, leave a comment and subscribe for the next attack walkthrough in this series. Thank you.